What's up, everybody? So just for a little bit of a change of scenery, and because it's a really nice day out, I thought I would do this video outside. And today I'm showing you what could be the worst camera that I've ever bought, but it's a lot of fun. And it is the Nishika N8000. This thing is horrible. This thing is definitely a one-trick pony. Not for everybody, but the trick that it does do is a lot of fun. So first let me explain what this camera actually is. It was in the 80s marketed kind of as a 3D gimmick, and it was this expensive process that you had to send out for that very few people actually did because it was expensive. But the camera itself has 4 plastic lenses in the front. It's big and bulky, and it looks like it might do a lot of stuff, but really all that it is a 35mm camera that will take 2 frames of 35mm and separate them into 4 pictures. And because the pictures are so close to each other, if you were to take each of those frames and put them as a successive frame in an animation and then loop it, it looks like a really cool 3D effect animation. And I'm sure you might have seen these things like on Tumblr. It's really big. People make animated GIFs out of them. This camera only has 3 settings on it. It has sunny, partly cloudy, and shade. And basically all those are doing is you're selecting the aperture on it. So their sunny, I think, is f19. Shade, or partly cloudy, is going to be f11, and then wide open is going to be f8. And there's no focusing to be done on this camera. It's just pretty much, as long as you're focused, as long as your subject is at least about 6 feet away from you, then you should be good. I think it's like 5'7", something like that from you, but 6 feet is it's a good measurement. But that said, even if it's a little bit closer, you can still get some really cool effects out of it. But the nice thing about this camera is you really just kind of point it at something and take a picture, and you come out with this really cool lo-fi effect. And that said, you really don't have to spend a lot of money on good film. You don't really have to pay much attention to your process as far as your color process goes. I mean, I've been so lackadaisical with my color processing with this film because who cares? It's lo-fi. I don't really care about sharpness. I mean, this thing, each one of these frames is half of a 35mm picture. So the quality is not going to be great regardless. So that said, when I buy film for this thing, I got this cheap stuff. It was only, Alexa's telling me the weather right now. Alexa, stop. She's always talking. I get this cheapo film. I think I got it at Walmart. It's like a 24 exposure Fujifilm, 200 speed, and I think I got it for like 10 bucks for 4. So can't beat that with a stick. But why use, Portra on something like this when the quality is going to be crap regardless? I mean, you're coming out of like plastic lenses, so who cares? As for the camera and its operation, it's pretty simple. All you have is the film chamber on the inside, pretty standard, pull to open. You've got your crank here. I had one time where I just ripped through all of the sprockets on my on a roll of film. I don't know why. I didn't think that. Maybe I loaded it incorrectly, but it's only happened once. So I'm thinking it's probably an anomaly. There is a hot shoe. It's got a main contact point here and then 2 smaller contact points. I'm pretty sure the 2 smaller contact points are just for show because there ain't no kind of automatic features in this thing at all. It's strictly all manual. The flash that came with it, I couldn't get to work, but this is just a cheapo Newer flash. I think I got it for like 35 bucks or something like that, and it works fine in it. As long as it's got the one manual center, should be fine. Each roll of film is going to be split in half as far as your pictures go. So if you've got a 36 exposure roll, you're going to get 18 pictures. If you have a 24 exposure roll, you're going to get 12 pictures. The viewfinder of the camera is just frame lines, and you line up your shot in it. You can only shoot horizontally to get the 3D effect that you want, but you line up your shot and there's little frame lines in there, and then it's going to take 4 exposures with varying degrees of offset of that frame. There's quite a bit of space on the outside of the frame, so make sure you're paying attention to where your frame lines are when you're actually framing up your shot. But yeah, that's about it. It's really just kind of point, shoot, and go, and it's fun. I've seen a lot of gripes about trying to do the actual effect itself, because you have to take it into Photoshop and you have to, like, you have to scan it yourself, or I mean, why would you pay to get someone else to scan it for you? That just seems like a lot of money wasted. But you bring it into Photoshop, and you know what? I'm going to link you to Okay, so as far as the actual processing of the images, all you really have to do is scan them, and I usually do, I think I did 1200 DPI for 35 mil. That gives a reasonably sharp image, and then you can still crop in and make the GIF out of them. I was going to do a video about how to actually create the images, but there are tons of videos out there, especially this one by this guy Eduardo. I definitely recommend you follow his channel, especially if you have any kind of interest in film. Phenomenal channel, lots and lots of fun, and a really personable guy. But he does a really great video on how to actually process these and make them into animations that I will link you to. But what I'm going to cover is getting those little videos onto Instagram and Facebook, because they don't support GIFs. So you just basically really have to turn them into movie files. Really, really simple. I'll cover that. But yeah, all in all, horrible camera, lots and lots of fun. Definitely check it out if you are into this kind of crazy thing. And I mean, it's only like 40 bucks, so if you're already into film and you regularly get cheapo film or whatever, or you scan your own film, I wouldn't recommend that you send out for this stuff, because it's just not cost effective. I don't think, I mean, like these days that people are charging, $6-7 to develop a roll of film, and for what? I mean, you're not printing these things. These are just going to be animations. So I would highly recommend developing your own if you have that capability. If not, there are other videos out there. I think I made videos on how to develop your own film. Scan them. Any kind of cheapo scanner will do. Again, quality is not what matters here. It's all about the lo-fi. It's all about having fun with it. And I mean, you'll see from the shots that I did, I do portrait work, but these are far from portrait. It's just fun. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more videos of this sort, and I'll catch you guys later.
So let's make a quick video just so I can show you how quick this can be done. And I'm no pro by any means at this kind of thing, but I wanted to show you that it can be done at a pretty reasonable pace so you're not afraid of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's pick out this one here. Alright, so this is a Tif scan of the 4 files that the camera has taken. All that I'm going to do is marquee this. Okay, I'm going to hit Control C to copy this frame. New file. It should, since you've already hit Control C, it'll import the correct settings right in here. Hit Create, Control V. Go back to this file. I'm just going to move this right over to the next one. Control C, Control V. Move over to the next one. Control C, Control V. Move over to the next one. Control C and Control V. Alright, now because you really need to find a spot to focus on in the animation. So I'm going to focus on her eyes. I think that's going to be like the place where the animation is going to rotate around. If you don't do that, then all that you end up doing is have the animation kind of shift from left to right, which really isn't that good. But if you pick a spot to kind of align with every single frame, then it looks a lot better. So I'll show you what I mean. So over here, I'm going to deselect everything but the first and second layer. Now on the second layer, I'm going to turn the opacity to 40%. I'm going to move this frame here to align it. There, it looks pretty good. Cool. That's aligned, so I'm going to turn this opacity back to 100. Okay, move up to the next layer. Turn that to 40%. Move it over so the eyes align. Right there. Okay, turn that back to 100. Enter. Go up to the last layer and turn that opacity to 40% and move it over so that the eyes align again. Perfect. Now turn this back to 100%. Okay. And from here, I'm going to create a frame animation. Okay. I'm going to add some frames, and all of this you can see more in depth in Eduardo's video that I'm going to link to in the description. Just so you know, I'm going through this pretty fast. So I'm going to add 6 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more frames there. Select the first frame. Make sure just that one is selected. Move to the second frame. Okay, now just that one selected there. Move to the third frame. Same. Fourth frame. Good. Fifth frame is going to go back to the third layer. And the last frame will go back to the second layer. Good. Alright. I'm going to change these times to, I like 0.1 seconds in between each frame. Okay. Now, looking at these here on the bottom, I can see that this frame has quite a lot cropped in. It's a little bit misaligned with the rest of the frame. So I'm going to use this frame to crop. Right about there. Hit crop. And now I think most of them should be pretty. And now I think there shouldn't be any white space around on any of the frames because that was the most extreme of all of them. So turn this to forever. Okay, and then hit play. Oh, there's a little bit up top here. So I'm going to crop in there just a bit. Good. Now hit play. And that's really all there is to it. Not too difficult. Alright, so from here, now the way that Eduardo does it is he has you output to a GIF file, which is cool, and it works for like Tumblr and such, but for Facebook and for Instagram, they don't allow GIF files. So what we're going to do instead is go to File, Export, Render Video. Okay, we're going to pick a file name here. I'm going to call that example 1. Okay, just leave these as they are, should be fine, and hit render. And that's it. Now from here we're going to go into Adobe Premiere, and we'll just kind of duplicate this a few times. I'm sure that you can do this probably in Photoshop as well, but I really don't know how. But in Premiere it's a lot faster for me. So we're going to go into Premiere, duplicate it a few times, and then it'll be ready to go for Facebook or for Instagram. Alright, so over here in Premiere, we're going to import our video. So let's see if I can remember where I put it. It was example 1. Let's open it up. Bring it down to the timeline. Okay, move to the end. And I'm just going to hit overwrite. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 times there. Let's see what that looks like. And there you go. So that looped 5 times. It gives enough for a 3-second video. Perfect. Alright, or you could do more or less if you wanted to. Make the clip longer or shorter. So now that's enough for, there you go, about 4.5 second, almost 5-second video. Perfect. Alright, so now we're just going to go to File, Export Media. Okay. These settings should be just fine for me. I'm going to rename this to example 5 seconds. Hit save. Hit export. And that's it. So I hope that that was helpful for you guys, and from there you should be able to just take that file and upload it just as a regular video file to either Facebook or to Instagram. So if that was helpful, definitely give the thumbs up and a subscribe, and if you have any questions about it, just let me know. Like I said, Eduardo goes into the actual process of creating the animation in much better, slower depth than I do, so definitely check that out, and I'll link to that in the description. Alright, have a good one, guys. Subscribe below.